Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Young and restless Victor wouldn't be Victor without a plot brewing against an enemy, and his latest is a doozy. Unfortunately, there are some off-putting aspects to the plan that might otherwise be fun and schemy. Plus, we're convinced it won't get him the outcome he's hoping for, and instead will backfire. After Kyle baited Victor by needling him about having a sleepover, with Claire in his suite at the GCAC and getting room service for breakfast, the Black Knight was more determined than ever to teach the abbot a lesson and remove him from his granddaughter's life. As luck would have it, Victor ran into Audra shortly after his encounter with Claire and Kyle and devised a plan to do just that. Audra, who had been unceremoniously dumped from Blissade after working so hard to wrench it away from Tucker, and who was fresh off of a conversation with boyfriend Nate about Victor being untrustworthy, couldn't help but be intrigued when the mustache asked her for a sit-down meeting to discuss her prospects. Although Audra pretended she had career prospects, the audience is well aware she has few, and that her situation is looking grim. Victor probably knows this as well, and was ready to capitalize on it. Indeed, when they met, he offered to let her come back to work for him and run one of his divisions, if she would agree to join forces to get back at Kyle Abbott. While we can understand the appeal for Audra, the devil is in the details. Victor told Audra she would need to seduce Kyle away from Claire. He then backtracked to say she wouldn't actually have to sleep with him, but merely make it obvious to Claire that he's the type of man who could be tempted. Either way, it's kind of icky. It diminishes Audra, who is actually a smart businesswoman and women in general, to use them in this way. It's also off-putting, because Victor knows full well that Audra is in a relationship with Nate Hastings. Not that we'd expect him to care about that, but it adds to the distastefulness. While some may not understand why Audra would allow herself to be used, we're certain she will accept, only because she's desperate. There are no worthy job prospects on the horizon, and she's been unemployed for a while now. This feels like Victor taking advantage of a woman down on her luck. On the other hand, Audra will know full well what she's getting into, and will have to decide what to do about Nate. Will she risk her relationship to try and pull this off without him knowing? Or will she risk her relationship by telling her boyfriend what she's agreed to do in exchange for work? As for Victor, this scheme is bound to backfire on him. Whether it succeeds or not, Claire will eventually learn he devised this nefarious plot, and he'll have damaged his relationship with his granddaughter immeasurably. The trust will be gone, and she'll feel manipulated, as she did with Jordan. Even if Victor tries to convince her, he did it for her own good, and because he loves her. Do you think Victor's plan will work? Will Kyle have his head turned by Audra? Vote. In Genoa City, love rarely comes easy, and when it does, it's usually followed by betrayal, secrets, or a twist no one sees coming. With Kyle Abbott and Claire Grace's connection simmering just below the surface, fans of the young and the restless are asking, is romance truly on the horizon? Or will Victor Newman, Genoa City's godfather of manipulation, step in to destroy it before it begins? There's no denying the tension between Kyle and Claire. What started as cautious interactions slowly evolved into an intriguing chemistry that's caught viewers' attention. Both characters have been through emotional wars, betrayals, and redemptive arcs that can make even seasoned soap viewers clutch their pearls. But now, just when it seems a new chapter might unfold for these two wounded souls, Victor looms in the background like a dark cloud with a plan. Let's not forget who we're dealing with. Victor Newman is the king of power plays, the architect of 1,000 schemes, and a master manipulator who rarely shows his hand until the game is over. His methods may not always be legal or even moral, but in his mind, everything he does is in the name of protecting his family and empire. On the surface, not much. But dig deeper, and the pieces begin to align. Claire, after all, is not just another new face in Genoa City. She's a Newman by blood, Victoria's long-lost daughter, and thus Victor's granddaughter. That makes her a part of the powerful Newman legacy, something Victor guards like a lion protects its pride. Kyle, on the other hand, is a wild card. Once a golden boy of the Abbott family, he's become unpredictable, torn between loyalty to his family, bitterness over Summer, and a desperation to reclaim control of his life. He's also a former Jebot exec who's proven he can play hardball, especially when provoked. To Victor, Kyle is a threat not because of what he's done, but because of what he could do if his intentions toward Claire aren't pure. and Victor doesn't take chances when it comes to his bloodline. Claire's redemption arc has been one of the most compelling stories of the past year. Once manipulated into playing the villain, she's fought hard to regain trust, not just from the Newmans, but from herself. Her new life in Genoa City is a fragile one, built on second chances, forgiveness, and an uncertain future. Victor, ever the guardian of his family's image and legacy, has embraced Claire in his own stern, calculated way. But make no mistake, his acceptance is conditional. If he senses even a whiff of manipulation from Kyle, or if he sees Claire getting distracted from the life he believes she should lead, he won't hesitate to interfere. Victor might not need to break up Kyle and Claire directly. That's not his style. Instead, expect whispers, influence, a few timely business offers, or even the strategic unleashing of secrets from Kyle's past. After all, Kyle's history with Tara Locke, his impulsive decisions, and his rivalry with Adam have all been buried just beneath the surface. It wouldn't take much for Victor to dig them up and use them as leverage. If Victor does move to sabotage Kyle and Claire's budding connection, he'll also be sending a message to the Abbotts. The Newman-Abbott rivalry has cooled over the years but never disappeared. Jack and Victor have played the game for decades, and their children are just the latest pieces on the board. By targeting Kyle, Victor could be making a subtle power play, asserting dominance over the Abbotts by meddling in one of their own personal affairs. It wouldn't be the first time Victor weaponized love to make a point. But Jack Abbott may not take this line down. If he senses Victor is sabotaging Kyle's happiness or manipulating Claire for his own ends, we might see a revival of the classic Jack-Victor feud. And this time, the battlefield won't be boardrooms or press releases. It'll be the hearts of their children. Of course, there's another possibility, one even more devious. He's been floundering since his marriage to Summer imploded. His career path is murky, his role in the Abbott empire is uncertain, and his heart has been guarded. Claire, with her newfound ties to the Newmans, represents something he's always wanted: power, prestige, and a place inside the most influential family in Genoa City. If Victor even suspects Kyle is using Claire for personal gain, the consequences will be swift and brutal. But maybe it's the other way around. Maybe Claire, now wise to manipulation, is using Kyle as a way to distance herself from her haunting past and carve her own identity, independent of Victor and Victoria's plans for her. That's the beauty of soap romances. We never really know who's pulling the strings until it's too late. Fans can expect a slow burn. YNR writers know better than to rush a potential power couple pairing. Kyle and Claire have the kind of layered dynamic that can carry months, if not years, of storytelling. As they grow closer, every sideways glance from Victor will feel like a threat, every cryptic comment a warning. In Genoa City, the pressure of secrets, expectations, and legacy is often enough to fracture even the strongest bonds. Kyle and Claire's greatest threat might not be Victor's interference. It might be their own pasts catching up with them. Still, if there's one thing fans know for sure, it's this: Victor Newman doesn't sit on the sidelines. If Kyle and Claire are headed for love, they better be ready for a storm, because Victor always plays to win.